Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial video on how to create this Halloween canvas sign using only dollar store materials. You do not need a printer or anything like that, so I'm going to show you how you can use a screen just like this one. Here I'm using my iPad. You can use your laptop, a TV, and you're basically going to find a design that you want to put on your canvas. Take a couple screenshots of it in the size that you want it. Because my iPad, this is the maximum width I can get the one word on the screen. I've taken screenshots to make sure that as I move up on the design, I'm zoomed in at the right amount so that all my lettering is the same size. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have a larger screen like a TV or a laptop, you can totally just put the full design up on one screen, get a large enough piece of paper and trace the design like that. But I'm doing the screenshots because I'm working with a small screen. So as you can see, I'm just scrolling up to make sure that I have every part of my design screenshotted. I'm not going to do the little witch's hat at the top. I'm just going to do the lettering. So I went back in, found my first screenshot, opened it up, and then placed my piece of paper on top of the screen. And as you can see, because the screen is backlit, you can perfectly see the letters. So just go ahead and trace those onto a piece of paper. I moved through all my screenshots and got the entire image onto my paper, and then we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so set your tracing aside and open up your canvas. We are now going to paint the background that our lettering is going to go on. So I have chosen just like this dollar store canvas, and I picked up a bunch of the acrylic dollar store paints, and I'm basically going to be just painting a sort of sunset spooky background with lots of dark purples and pinks and peaches. So I just mixed a lot of water in with these acrylic paints because they tend to be very pigmented, but you can water them down and make them really soft and more opaque. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just blending, again, purples and pinks, and when we're done that, I'm going to show you how you can transfer your tracing onto your canvas so that you can fill those letters in perfectly. So we're not freehanding letters at all. This is going to be perfect lettering exactly from the design that you chose. Also, just a quick side note, you can use this transfer method on other materials, so you don't have to use canvas. I've done this on blocks of wood before and it turned out really well. It's actually a Christmas sign that I made from last year, so maybe I'll remake one of those videos around Christmas time with the wood. We are now done the canvas painting, so while we let that dry, because we can't do the transfer while the canvas is wet, I'm going to show you how you prep your tracing for a graphite transfer. So you're going to flip over your tracing, and on the back of the piece of paper that you have, you're going to take a pencil and you're going to start rubbing the pencil graphite onto the back of your tracing, making sure that you're covering all the lettering. If you're not sure that you're coloring in the right spot, just hold your paper up to the light and you'll be able to see through to the lettering on the opposite side. And if your graphite coloring is not on top of where your letters are, then just make sure you fill in all those gaps. So you're going to continue doing this to the entire design, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm almost finished. I'm just doing a quick check, holding it up to the light to make sure that I've covered the back of all the lettering that I have on the other side, and I have, so I'm going to show you now how to transfer it onto your canvas. Make sure you put something underneath your canvas so that when you are doing the transfer process, you have something firm under the actual canvas, because most canvases have a wooden frame and the middle is hollow, and you don't want to be pressing so hard that you are warping or puncturing a hole in your canvas. So I had just put some marker boxes under there. All right, so take your tracing that you've made and place it with the graphite side down, touching the canvas. You're going to need a little bit of tape as well as a ballpoint pen for the transfer process. So go ahead and grab those, and then we're going to start securing our tracing. So go ahead and center it, position it how you want it. Take a little bit of tape, remove most of the stickiness of the tape, and then make sure that your tracing is taped onto your canvas so it does not budge while we're doing the transfer process, because if it does, your design will not come out right when you lift your tracing at the end. So once everything's taped down, you're going to take your ballpoint pen and we're going to begin the transfer process. Using your pen, trace over the lettering and make sure you press firm enough that your graphite is making a transfer onto your canvas on the other side. You can lift it up a little bit if you want to check to see if it's working. This is why I recommend when you tape the top left corner and the bottom right corner so that the other two corners are free if you want to take a quick peek without actually removing your tape. So continue this process, pressing nice and firm, going over all the lettering. And when you're done and you remove your tracing, at the end, you should have a penciled in version of your design on your canvas. I'm going to show you how you can take that and make it into a final product. So I'm just zooming in here and showing you guys, you can see all the letters from the design. It is faint, so depending on how comfortable you are following this line, you can either go right in and start painting in your lettering, or you can take a pencil and just lightly go over your design just so that you can really see exactly where the letters are if you want to be extra precise. I'm just going to go ahead and go over all my letters quickly because I wasn't super confident with this font, but if you are and you want to just go ahead and move on to the next process, you can totally jump ahead to see how I fill in my lettering on my canvas. Earlier I said you could go ahead and paint, but you can also use markers, you can use glitter, you can use so many different things. You don't have to use paint just because it's on a canvas. You're going to see soon that I actually decided to not paint my letters in and I used a marker instead. I just felt like I could get a lot cleaner edges with a marker rather than a paintbrush. Alright, so I'm all done going over my lettering, and this is basically the fun part. This is where you get to design and really bring your sign to life. I chose to go in with a Sharpie to fill in all my letters because I wanted the font to be black. There are some stars, I think, on the side that I'm going to go in with a different color, but for now we're just using the Sharpie and doing the lettering. Alright guys, so here is the lettering all done. Just the last final touch that I wanted to put on this canvas was to color in the stars on either side of my design. I have this metallic gold marker by Rose Art, so I'm going to use that to fill in my stars, and that is pretty much it. I will show you the final product, so here it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if you guys tried this, and if you learned something, then give this video a thumbs up. Please tag me on Instagram at 2afterido because I really want to see what you guys came up with. You can use this transfer method for lettering and images as well. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!